Riverdale, the night before the wedding. A late summer storm prowled above the copper-shingled mansions, pressing their weather vanes down as though warning every rich soul beneath, something ugly is coming. Inside the penthouse loft he had insisted we rent, Meridian, glass walls, rent more than most people earn in half a year. I stood barefoot on Italian marble cool enough to cramp my toes. Hunter's reflection glided behind me, brushing invisible lint from the tuxedo he would wear tomorrow. He looked invincible, the way powerful men always look, shoulders squared, tie already knotted, jawline rehearsing victory speeches no one asked to hear. My own gown, ivory lace seeded with seed pearls that weighed like secrets, hung on a silk-covered hanger in the doorway. I had thought wearing it would make me feel like a woman arriving. Instead, every pearl felt like a minute hand ticking toward public humiliation. Thunder rolled. Lightning bleached the room. And that was when Hunter's phone buzzed. He lifted it, thumb already sliding across the screen. I was close enough to smell the citrus of his aftershave, bergamot and something colder, and to see the new message banner, Olivia, don't forget your promise. My name beside yours on the invitation, or I'll know it meant nothing. A single pulse of thunder punched the windows. I waited for Hunter to laugh, to roll his eyes, to toss the phone on the sofa and call her pathetic. Instead his shoulders caved a single breath, almost a sigh of relief, while his fingers flew. Hunter, it's already handled. I'll reprint them tonight. The room smelled suddenly of scorched wires. My heart skittered so loudly I thought the glass walls would rattle. Reprint what? My voice came out paper thin. He didn't even look up. Invitations. He might as well have been ordering pizza. Olivia just wants her name listed. It's sentimental. Sentimental. I swallowed the word like a shard of ice. It scraped all the way down. For years of dates, budgets, arguments, logies, makeups, first apartment cockroaches, and shared city bike passes, and Olivia wants something sentimental. I'm the bride, Hunter. My name goes first. Serena, don't be dramatic, he said, finally meeting my eyes. It's a tiny font change. Tiny. He dismissed me with the same adjective he once used for hailstorms and stock dips. But he wasn't finished. He lowered the phone, lips tightening, that corporate smile he wore when closing hostile takeovers. While we're at it, we'll shrink yours a little. Balance the layout. Balance the layout. Balance the layout. I pictured my name, Serena, reduced to 6-point Helvetica, stuffed into the lower left bleed where printers usually stamp trademarks. My mouth opened, nothing arrived. He mistook my silence for consent and strode to the study, already calling the designer. I stood on the marble, toes numb, listening to the man I was scheduled to swear forever to negotiate my erasure. I should have left then, grabbed the garment bag, ridden the mirrored elevator down, vanished into Riverdale mist. Instead I curled on the sofa, knees to chest, and told myself, tomorrow, in front of assembled guests, vows will anchor him. Love will anchor him. I still believed love was a kind of gravity. I was 26 and stupid. The next hours blurred, courier envelopes, the hush of tissue paper, machine perfume of fresh ink. By dawn the new invitations had been hand-delivered to the country club, and I, because I was organizer, planner, unpaid intern to my own romance, was asked to sample one, just to be sure the gold foil caught the light. Even knowing what waited, unfolding the cardstock felt like opening my own autopsy. Mr. Alexander requests the honor of your presence as Olivia Green joins Hunter Alexander. Her name curled in calligraphy large enough to lick the edge. My name huddled beneath, 8-point, a legal footnote, and Serena Song. No space between Serena and Song. A typo. A typo on my own wedding invitation. I raised my eyes to Hunter's mother, Elizabeth, who was sailing through the foyer in a tailored cream suit, pearl studs as big as bullets. I waited for outrage, or at least embarrassment. She flicked a glance at the proof and shrugged. People remember the first 2 names they read, dear. No big deal. Then she patted my cheek with the same gloved hand she used to strike show horses. No big deal. 3 tiny words. Yet they sat on my sternum like a steamroller. Hunter's father, Richard, never even looked up from the Wall Street Journal. Son, print cost looks inflated, he muttered. Negotiate a rebate. That was the sole editorial anyone offered. Morning slid toward noon. The sky polished itself cloudless, indifferent blue. Inside the country club's grand ballroom, staff draped blush silk from balcony to balcony, twisted fairy lights into heart shapes, arranged orchids flown in from Thailand. A 10-piece string quartet rehearsed 1,000 years. Everything beautiful. Nothing mine. Fast forward. 5:30 p.m. I arrived alone. Hunter said tradition forbade us riding together. Uber-ing in the back of a black Suburban whose AC smelled of pinecone and previous passengers' cigars. Riverdale's elite milled under columned porticos, pastel frocks twirling, champagne flutes catching sunlight like knives. I stepped out, ivory train folded over my forearm, heart slamming against corset bones. Security guards in white gloves asked for my invitation. No embossed envelope could be located under either Serena or the sloppy fusion Serena song. Gloves turned me aside. Aunt, one of the volunteers, cat-eye glasses hanging from a chain, flipped through alphabetized boxes 3 times before she tapped a fingernail against an outer corner annotation written in ballpoint. +1, corner table, bride? She squinted, sniffed. Honey, we can't let every strayin' off the street. Come back when you have a real invite. Her accent was Riverdale lockjaw, every syllable sharpened on inherited money. I tried calm logic first. But I am Serena. Look at my ID, same name printed here. And shoved my driver's license back without reading it. Photoshop, she announced to no one and everyone. You kids think old ladies don't know deepfake? Try another club. Heat crawled up my neck. I felt the pearls on my gown multiplying into armor plates. Across the foyer, Hunter's mother appeared, speaking to the maitre d'. I waved, voice cracking. Alexander. She turned, our gazes bridged maybe 30 feet of travertin, and then, with the deliberate calm of a woman flicking lint from a lapel, pivoted on Louboutin heels and vanished behind a marble pillar. My stomach imploded. Phones appeared. Guests livestreamed the catfight they assumed was unfolding. Hashtags bloomed, hashtag wedding crasher, hashtag golddigger inlace. A ripple of laughter spread, first polite, then riotous, until it felt like the floor itself was giggling. Suddenly the ballroom doors swung wide. A hush swept the corridor. I followed the collective intake of breath. Olivia. She glided out in a traditional red gown, bright as sliced pomegranate, embroidered phoenixes spiraling her hem. A gold filigree tiara pinned her dark waves, crimson lipstick exact as a scalpel. Every aunt, cousin, college roommate surged toward her, palms pressed in the namaste of congratulations. Someone draped a jasmine garland around her neck. Cameras flashed until the air smelled of ozone and envy. She looked, I realized with a plummeting heart, every inch the bride I had trained myself to be. I crossed the marble before thought caught up. Silk rustled as onlookers parted, eyes wide. Olivia. My voice cracked like thin ice. She rotated, phoenix embroidery glinting. Serena, she sang, tilting her head as though we were former dorm mates. Fix this, I hissed. Tell them who you are, and who I am. Her smile never faltered. She stepped closer, gardenia perfume floated off her skin. Who you are, she murmured. A girl who couldn't hold him. For years, and still my name is the Phi. RST on his tongue when he's drunk. Did you know that? I tasted metal, I'd bitten my inner cheek. Hunter loves me, I said, loud enough for strangers to overhear, desperate enough to sound like a child insisting monsters aren't real. Olivia's hand lifted, manicure perfect, index finger almost brushing my lips in a shushing motion. Sweetie, she whispered, this entire ballroom, flowers, cake, quartet, was chosen by me in 10th grade study hall. We promised we'd honeymoon in Kyoto. Check the guest book, Origami Station. He remembers. A trapdoor opened in my chest. She pivoted toward the crowd, raised her voice to hostess bright. Someone fetch Hunter. The poor groom is missing his photogenic angle. Laughter erupted, fat, indulgent chuckles rolling like bowling balls. Someone's hand shoved me, gentle but firm, I was blocking the shot. I stumbled backward into a service corridor. The door swung shut, muffling applause. Alone under humming fluorescent lights, I finally breathed. Acidic breath. I pictured Hunter, cufflinks monogrammed with initials that might one day belong to Olivia if I disappeared. My phone vibrated inside the beaded clutch. Text from Hunter, 2 minutes old. Hunter, Serena? Where the hell are you? Hotel says final payment bounces. Need 188K wired now. They won't start reception without it. Please tell me this is a joke. I stared until the words blurred. Payment. A price tag on humiliation. And I, orphan forged on charity, every dollar saved from waitressing double shifts at Bella, was expected to bankroll my own ousting. My thumb hovered. Memories flicked like dying bulbs. Hunter's dorm room, ramen dinners, the night his father threatened to cut him off and Hunter cried into my neck saying, "You're the only real thing I have." Now he wanted my money to polish his duplicity. I moved my thumb to block contact. The phone asked, "Are you sure?" For half a heartbeat, guilt stabbed, conditioning of every good girl fairy tale, forgive, understand, uplift. Then I remembered the font size of my name. I tapped yes. Back in the corridor, applause crested, someone announced first dance. Through a porthole window, I glimpsed Hunter in tailcoat, hand encircling Olivia's waist. The quartet launched into Elvis's Can't Help Falling in Love. Everyone sighed at the romance. Everyone except the actual bride. I turned, gathered my skirts, and walked, not toward the exit doors visible at the corridor's end, but toward the freight elevator. A plan, half-formed, vicious, was already sparking behind my ribs. Hunter wanted a wedding. Olivia wanted tradition. The Alexanders wanted spectacle untarnished by scandal. And I, Serena, girl rebuilt from nothing, wanted my pound of flesh wrapped in their immaculate reputation. The lift dinged open. I stepped inside, pressed B for basement, and felt, for the first time all day, calm. Because the ceremony upstairs was counterfeit. But the reckoning down below? That would bear my name, full size, bold font, no apologies. As doors sealed, the last audible strains of Elvis faded, replaced by the metallic hum of descent and the drumbeat of my own steady pulse, counting down seconds until Riverdale's golden prince discovered exactly how expensive tiny font can become when written on the wrong woman's heart. Liv, do you know that woman? She's raving, keeps yelling that she's the real bride. Olivia smiled, lips parting and closing like a ventriloquist's doll. Probably just some crazy homeless chick. She tossed the line over her shoulder and glided into the ballroom. I tried to follow, but a human wall blocked me, 3 matrons shoulder to shoulder. They looked me up and down, disgust blooming on their faces. So that's the bride, a deranged bag lady. Nice outfit for a bum. Wonder which rack she swiped it from. Maybe she lifted it right here, out of the cloakroom. Their voices were scalpels, sharp and mocking, each cupped her nose as if something rancid had walked in. My fists curled at my sides. I'm telling you. I'm today's bride. Check the wedding portrait on my phone, Hunter and me. I yanked out my iPhone, thumb racing for the album. Before I could tap a single thumbnail, it was snatched away. The woman in burgundy turned it over, clucking. Lord, even street rats sport the newest Pro Max these days? Standards sure have dropped. She tucked the phone inside her jacket. I lunged. Give it back. Before my fingers reached her, she let out a shriek that could shatter crystal. Help! The tramp's attacking me, somebody stop her. The sound reeled in the uncles who'd been puffing cigarettes outside. They ground the butts under their heels and stalked over, brows knotted. What's the ruckus? One growled. I opened my mouth, but Burgundy beat me to it. Nut job homeless girl, claims she's the bride and wants to wreck the ceremony. One sentence, she nailed me inside the coffin labeled beggar. I started to protest, but a 6'4" gorilla in a rented tux grabbed my lapel, hauling me onto my toes. Nice threads for a freeloader. Planning to marry up, huh? Bet she stole the whole outfit. Let's strip search her, make sure. Panic detonated. I hugged the silk to my chest, backing up. They advanced, cat grins widening. The closest one hooked a finger under my shoulder strap. I slashed 4 freshly manicured claws across his cheek. He yelped, stumbling, giving me a heartbeat to yank the dress back in place. Back off, touch me again and I'm dialing 911 for sexual assault. A tramp dialing cops on us? That's rich. The clothes aren't yours, sweetheart, we're just reclaiming. 2 more closed in, pinning my arms. I thrashed, heels skidding on marble. Every twist earned a tighter grip. A palm flashed, crack, my vision bloomed with fireworks. Then another hand, another slap, until I tasted iron and my knees buckled. I hit the floor. From my clutch the velvet ring box tumbled, flipping open to flash the diamond inside. Burgundy swooped, eyes glittering like the stone itself. Well, where? Dr. Little Thief lift this? She snapped the box shut, slid it into her bra, and pointed like a Puritan elder. There. She robbed my ring, get this thief out of here. I gaped, sure I'd misheard. No, that's, a backhand snapped my head sideways. Security stormed in, caught the summary, and made a beeline for me. Humiliation boiled hotter than the bruises rising on my cheeks. I bared my teeth at the ring of grinning demons. You'll regret this. Regret? What's a street rat gonna do, sue us? Burgundy tried jamming the ring onto her sausage finger, it refused. She settled for tucking it back into her bra with a satisfied huff. Across the foyer Derek stepped out of the salon. My pulse leapt, Hunter's best friend would recognize me. Derek. I prayed he wouldn't play deaf like Hunter's mother. He paused, frown deepening, and strode over. Hope flared traitorously in my chest. Tell them, explain, who is this? Drag her out, ceremony starts in 5. The words carved the last marrow from my bones. At his signal the guard seized my elbows. I stared, disbelieving, as his lips curled into a silent verdict, "You asked for it." Only then did it hit me, this was payback for turning him down last Christmas. They hauled me down the front steps and hurled me onto the gravel. My ribs screamed. Guests clustered under the porte-cochere, someone spat. "Filthy jinx, scram." My shattered phone landed beside me like a condolence card. Worthless junk, just like its owner. The silk was streaked with greasy fingerprints, shoulder seams split. Hair that had taken 2 hours to twist into a chignon now resembled a crow's nest. The entire day felt like a toxic dream. I'd thought I'd marry the man I loved. Instead I'd learned, in front of an audience, that Hunter had never loved me. For years of memories I'd cradled like heirlooms were, to him, disposable. I walked, indifferent to the stares of tourists, until I stood outside Bella, the bistro where Hunter had proposed. Months ago, yet it felt like a past life. A waiter sprinted over. "Serena, what happened? Aren't you getting married today?" I managed a cracked laugh and waved him off. I'd bought the place 6 months ago, because Hunter loved their truffle fries, planning to deed it to him after the reception. Guess that gift would stay in escrow. Before I could speak, my mangled phone buzzed, "Hunter calling." I answered. His voice came like a whip. "Serena, where the hell are you? The hotel is demanding the final payment, 1.8 million, get back here and settle it." Plain as day, he wanted the gold digger's payday without the bride. I let out a cold laugh. "Funny, whoever shows up for the wedding should foot the bill. I'm not the bride anymore, remember? He's treated me like this, why on earth would I still jump when he says jump?" Probably sensing the fury in my voice, Hunter spoke again, already softer. "Serena, today was my screw up. I never thought it would snowball like this. But you're still my legal wife. I just wanted to close one teenage regret, that's all." Regret? I dropped 200 grand on that venue so he could relive his glory days fantasy? I mentally cursed Hunter into next week, but kept my face convincingly hesitant. After a beat I told him, "Fine. Wait there, I'm on my way." "Got it, babe. I'll wait." His honey voice earned an icy laugh inside my head. I hung up. The waitress beside me shifted uneasily. "Song, you're really going back?" "Not a chance. Only an idiot would return to clean up his bill." I'd lied to score a little payback. I hailed a cab straight home and, just for fun, blocked every number Hunter owned. Back at Meridian I wasn't idle. I boxed every last sock of his and dumped the lot downstairs. Lucky for me the deed's in my name, or I'd never have been able to bar the gate. I called building management, told them Hunter and I were done, and instructed security to keep him out. 3 hours later the door cam chimed. I tapped accept and there he was on the lobby screen, fuming. Gee, hair wrecked, faint scratches on his cheek, guess the hotel encore had been brutal. "Serena, what the hell? You ditched me at our own wedding." I maxed every card to cover that bill. Even through the intercom his roar blistered my eardrums. I rubbed the ache away and smiled. "Our wedding? You're confused. Wasn't today's bride Olivia? What's it to me? Or are you shopping for a richer bride now that Olivia can't cough up the 180? That cooled him fast. "Serena, I know you're mad. Listen, Olivia means nothing now, today was just an accident. We can do another ceremony if you want. Big dreams, spend my money marrying garbage again? I'm not a landfill. Hunter, save the fantasies for bedtime. We're done." I moved to cut the call, and his temper flared again, teeth clenched like he wanted to swallow me whole. "Serena, you'll regret this." Click. I hung up without hesitation. That night I learned what his next move was. He fired up a live stream and played the jilted groom. We dated 4 years, and on our wedding day she left me standing alone. She booked the most expensive hall, 200 grand, for her own ego, then vanished over some imaginary grievance and stuck me with the bill. "I'm a guy, I'll pay." I even forgave her for bailing, but when I went to talk, she'd tossed all my stuff into the street. Hunter missed his calling in Hollywood. If I didn't know better I'd almost buy it. All those aunts and uncles who'd literally pushed me out earlier now swore he was the victim, erasing Olivia from the story. His mom sat beside him, dabbing tears for the camera. "We're not asking for the money back, we just want answers. Our family scraped together every cent, and she calls the wedding off. Tell us, isn't that fraud?" The comment section drank it up. Strangers screamed for Hunter's justice and trashed my reputation. Overnight my name surfaced, then my company. Stock wobbled. But that wasn't what enraged me most. They went after Sunshine. The orphanage's fundi. Ink has been drying up for years. To keep the kids fed the director started a little channel showing daily life at Sunshine. Ever since my business took off, I've wired donations every January. Now trolls flooded those videos. Sunshine raised a gold digger like Serena, whole place must be rotten. Bet the donations bankrolled her startup. That little girl has future criminal eyes. Looks like Sunshine trained Serena types to seduce suckers and cash out. Filth everywhere, even when the director tried to livestream an appeal, so much vulgar spam she had to shut it down. Still, she never blamed me, instead she sent comfort. After 24 hours of cesspool, Hunter rang again. I hit record the second I picked up. So, Serena, ready to apologize? I smiled at the glowing red dot. What do you want? Originally, just the 180. Now the price went up. I want the Meridian condo, plus another 2 million for emotional damages. Yesterday humiliated me in front of the world. Classic blackmail. How had I ever dated this sponge? Disgusting. But I said, it's a lot, I need a little time. He thought it over, then barked, fine, 3 days. Try to screw me and I'll bury you for good. The instant the line died, I saved the clip. Exposing him is easy, but that's not the endgame. I glanced at the file on Olivia. Cliché breakup, her family was broke, both sets of parents vetoed marriage to Hunter. Since then she's chased every quick buck and picked up a nasty gambling habit. She crawled back now because she's tapped out and sees Hunter as her ATM. Loan sharks are hunting her. Happy to help them. I picked the sweetest photo of her and Hunter, slid it into an envelope, and had it couriered to the shark's last known address. The 72 hours evaporated. No money arrived, so Hunter called again. Serena, you bitch. Where's my cash? I leaned back in my chair and hit enter. Chill, Hunter. Go online, I left you a present. I'd gotten the hotel lobby surveillance from the manager. Andy paired it with the full audio of his shakedown. Hunter went viral overnight. The twist hit so fast the internet never saw it coming. Wait, what? Some other chick walked the aisle in her own wedding? No wonder the bride bolted. If that was me, I'd grab the next flight out of there. Called it, y'all just wouldn't listen. Jesus, the groom's relatives are trash too, groping her in front of everyone? I just threw up in my mouth. Classic case of a loser mooching off women and still acting like a king. Within minutes, Hunter and his circus of cousins were trending. My phone erupted with Hunter's unhinged screaming. F*********, you, Serena. You stabbed me in the back, you be *********. You wait, I'll end you, I swear. I hung up before he finished the sentence. He tried to post damage control videos, but nobody bought a word. Worse, former classmates started spilling. They said Hunter and Olivia had dated back in high school. There's more. At our reunion, Olivia knew he was engaged and still dragged him off for half an hour. Who knows what they did, probably sealed the deal right then. So much for the pure first love fantasy, huh? Dude's devoted, alright. Devoted my a******. Hunter was a man whore who couldn't keep it zipped. Seriously, campus body count had to be sky high. Guy acts like he'd die without a girl. The rumors turned graphic, some straight up pornographic. Truth, lies, online, they braid together until you can't tell the strands. I ignored the noise and worked straight through to clock out. I'd barely stepped outside when a figure lunged at me. I blinked. Hunter, cap yanked low, mask over beard, only his bloodshot eyes showing. Serena, how could you do this to me? He hissed, voice raw. I backed up a pace. People like him write the rules, then cry when you play by them. Why not? When you spun those lies, did you worry about me? While you and Olivia pledged forever under the officiant, did you think about me? So why should I care about your feelings now? He had no answer, but his fingers kept clawing my sleeve, veins flaming red. Whatever. You owe me. My girlfriend's supposed to accept every part of me. You, a white van screeched to the curb. 3 linebackers hopped out and hoisted him off the ground. We both froze. Let go. Who the hell are you? Hunter thrashed, shrieking. The driver flashed an apologetic grin at the growing crowd. Sorry, folks, family matter. My little brother's got issues. Slipped out today. We're taking him home. I'm not your brother, get off me. He never stood a chance. When the fight drained out of him, he turned to me, eyes pleading. Serena, please, help me. The trio glanced my way. I scratched my nose and smiled. Never saw him before. Probably some deranged homeless dude. The door slid shut. Hunter stared back at me, despair swallowing his face. He disappeared. As the last person who'd spoken to him, I got the police treatment. I told them everything. When they asked why I didn't intervene, I shrugged. 4 against 1. Even if I wanted to play hero, self-preservation comes first. They lectured me, accepted the plate number and descriptions I gave, then let me go. Outside the interview room sat Hunter's parents, looking 10 years older, hands clasped white-knuckled. His mother sprang up, swinging at me until an officer blocked her. Murderer! It's your fault my son's gone. Why didn't you save him? I kept my gaze flat. You didn't save me either. She froze, collapsed to the tiles, and wailed. I walked out, didn't look back, didn't soften. Cops found Hunter 2 days later. The kidnappers were jailed, bruises still fresh on their knuckles. He looked skeletal, soiled, eyes glazed like cracked marbles. Under questioning, the thugs admitted Olivia had tipped off the loan sharks. Police launched a search and located her in a safe house basement, blood pooling under her torso, 2 fingers short, 1 kidney gone, lower body mangled beyond words. I visited them once, out of curiosity. Hunter drool. Ed when he saw me, the neurologist said trauma had flipped the switch to permanent toddler. Olivia will spend life tethered to colostomy and urine bags. When headlines finally quieted, I drove back to Sunshine. Director and the kids cheered my arrival. None had caught the viral toxicity. Director said donations actually spiked after the scandal. Small mercies. As I left, she squeezed my hand and sighed. Who's ever gonna marry you now? Will I live to see you in white? I hate that sermon. I made some excuse and sprinted for the gate. Maybe her nagging bent fate in my favor. That autumn I met the man who made my pulse sprint, CEO of the rival firm. Opponents on paper, but when he pitched, confidence rolled off him like sunshine on water. I chased. 2 months later, he surrendered. He isn't Hunter, no put-downs, no leeching. We match each other stroke for stroke. We plan to ring in New Year together. Leaving Bella, I spotted 2 ghosts on the sidewalk. Olivia wore a drainage pouch clipped to her waist, fist clenched around a leash. At the other end shuffled Hunter, vacant, mouth slack. Word is Hunter's parents didn't want their broken son dying alone, so Olivia was ordered to become his bride. Her face reeks of disgust, yet she grips that leash like a life raft. A twisted till death do us part. What's up? He asked, following my gaze. Cold? He draped his coat over my shoulders, laced his fingers through mine, and steered us toward home. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, smash that like, share with a friend, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more. See you next chapter.